So in learning Cantonese or in any Asian-based language, it's a hard task to do it, and it's never easy. It always takes time. It doesn't really just come like that. But something that I really do remember about my mission was that my brother, he told me, because he served in Taiwan and he served in Mandarin speaking, but something he told me was that I should really get my sounds and tones down before I delve into like vocabulary or learning how to speak faster or just those different aspects of the language, because sounds and tones in especially in Cantonese is so important, because if you don't have a good base for that, then the rest of your mission you're going to be speaking, I guess you just won't have a good, people will be hard, it'll be harder to understand you. And so we have this book that they give you, maybe it's different now, but they have a page where it just gives you the basic sounds and tones, kind of like the equivalent of learning our alphabet in a sense, but they'll have a sound and a tone for different phonics that they have, because they have different tones, maybe like about like 7 different tones. And so when you learn it, if you mess up, if you don't have good tones, then it's hard for the people you're speaking to understand you, as well as you progress throughout your mission, you'll probably speak a little bit faster and you'll use more vocabulary. But if your sounds and tones are bad, then they won't be able to understand you and you will get frustrated. And so it's so important to emphasize those tones, because I don't know how many times I've heard missionaries talking and I'll hear them say words and it just bugs me, because I'm like, you said that wrong. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because you're not speaking to me. But it's just, if you really want to be successful in the language, it's important to have that base before you move on to the next steps. Because I think lots of times missionaries they'll kind of get a little bit of sounds and tones, but then they really want to learn vocabulary, they want to learn sentence structures, they want to learn things they can say, and that's good and all, but if you have the sounds and tones, then you can say anything you want. You can learn a word and you can say it exactly how it's supposed to be said, and the speed will come naturally and the sentence structure will come naturally. But if you learn the opposite way, then you'll be struggling to remember, oh, how is this supposed to be in a different tonal range. And so that was something that's very important in learning the language, but also being successful in it, that I felt. Because obviously there's a lot of things that are involved. You need to be driven, you need to listen for what natives say, because what natives say is what the colloquial language is. Because you don't want to be learning a language that maybe you don't want to learn vocabulary that is not really spoken, because it's not very, I guess you just won't sound like a native if you say things like that. And it's the same for American culture. Like if you say slang that's really out of date or words that people don't use often, people might look at you differently. Like what's this guy saying? But especially in Cantonese, it's important to learn what the natives say and to speak like a native, because that way you'll get more respect from them and they'll be able to trust you and talk to you a lot more openly if you can speak the same language that they are. So that was important to develop throughout your mission, just that attitude of, even though I may sound weird, or I think I sound weird, or maybe, like people don't understand me in the beginning, but if I keep pushing at it and I keep having the attitude that I can, that I'll be able to do it, then in the end you'll be surprised with how far you've gotten in the language, and it'll be rewarding to you. So to always remember that.